Welcome everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Sarah and this is yoga. So we are going to be doing a root chakra practice today. So I will show you the image of the root chakra. This is the symbol as well as the color. So the color of the root chakra is red. So I'm wearing my red shirt today. So I'll read a little bit about the root chakra and kind of give you some idea of what the root chakra represents and the meaning behind the root chakra. So the element of our root chakra is earth. The Sanskrit name for root chakra is Muladhara. The motivating principle of this chakra is safety, self-preservation. The location is at the base of the spine. The basic right of the chakra is to have and to be here. And the demon of the chakra is fear. The primary task of this chakra is to honor the body and be grounded. And being grounded is the ability to maintain dynamic contact with your body and the earth and the reality around you, and to feel safe and secure. So as we move through our practice today, it's going to be a fairly simplified and gentler practice. I want you to kind of focus on being really rooted and grounded. So wherever your body is contacting the floor, your mat, whatever surface you're on, essentially the earth, really try and focus your attention on those parts of your body and really try and create a sense of stability and that sense of safety and foundation, because that's what we really want to focus on. So I have a few little mantras or little self-affirmations for you that you can use to kind of keep in your mind as we practice today. The first one is, I am grounded and connected to the earth. The next one is, I am willing to accept myself and others. The next one is, I'm open to trusting myself. The next one is, I'm ready to release old habits that no longer serve me. And the last one is, I am grounded and balanced. I am safe and secure. So go ahead and come into your comfortable seat, whatever that looks like to you. I'm going to stay in close to the camera because I'm going to read a little guided visualization before we begin our asana practice. So just kind of shift around if you need to, if you want to kind of move some of the flesh out from underneath your sit bones so you really feel well seated into your mat or a blanket if you're sitting on a blanket. Sitting up nice and tall, let's roll our shoulders up, back, and down. And if you like, you can close your eyes. And just bring our attention to the breath, taking some nice full deep inhales and exhales. Get a sense of your center of gravity. Imagine that your torso is like a tree trunk, strong and solid. Now imagine that sprouting out of your first chakra at the base of your spine is a deep taproot going straight down from its center with a cluster of peripheral roots around it. Let the other roots reach down and spread out, making a firm base for your trunk. You can imagine these roots to be filled with a red, vital earth energy, like the molten core flowing beneath the hardened crust of the earth. You can do two things with these roots. One, you can allow unwanted energies, such as stress, aches and pains, or patterns from the past, to drain from the roots and out of your body. And two, you can draw vital earth energy up through your roots into your body for nourishment, just as trees do. So we're going to begin our asana practice with some torso rotation. So we're going to rotate first in a clockwise direction. So to your right, and making these circles large or small, or maybe they start out small and gradually get larger and larger. But focusing on those unwanted things, that stress, tension, negativity, spiraling down into the earth through those roots that you created in your mind. So just moving these circles with your breath, inhaling as you bring the chest forward, exhaling as you round the spine to the back. Keeping your eyes closed if you like. Taking a couple more in this direction. And then we'll pause and circle around counterclockwise. So now visualizing that energy coming up out of the earth, spiraling up through the spine, bringing the life force and energy from the earth into your body. And again, these circles can be large or small or changing in size depending on what you need today. And as always, in any yoga practice, please remember that this is your practice. Please listen to your body, modifying anything that you need to, skipping any poses that don't work for you, resting when you need to. Taking a couple more in this direction. And last one. Coming to center, we'll move into a breathing twist, inhaling, reaching arms up overhead. Exhaling, gently twisting to one side, placing one hand in front and one behind, and inhale, reaching the arms back up. Exhaling, twisting to the other side. So just moving with your breath at your pace, inhaling as you reach, exhaling as we gently twist. Maybe taking that gaze over the back shoulder as we twist, maybe just looking to the side. And then we'll hold on one side for an extra couple of breaths. If you like, take your front hand to your opposite knee and press into the knee to go a little deeper into that twist. Releasing that twist, inhaling both arms up. Exhaling, twisting to the other side. Again, front hand to opposite knee, press into the knee. And release, inhaling both arms up. Exhaling the hands to the heart. And let's go ahead and bring the soles of our feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. Holding on to the ankles, sitting up nice and tall, hinging it forward at the hips. Keeping the spine nice and neutral, maybe lightly pressing the elbows down into the knees to help open up the hips a little bit more, bring those knees a little closer to the earth. And we'll release. Making our way to all fours for some cat and cows. So bringing our wrists underneath our shoulders, our knees under our hips, fingers spread wide. You can pad your knees with a blanket or by folding up your mat. On the next inhale, we'll dip the belly down and look up into cow. Exhaling as we arch the spine, tucking the chin and the pelvis under into cat. So moving with your breath at your pace. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling into cat. Keeping elbows a little bit soft. Core is engaged. Pelvic floor is lifted. So our root chakra, Muladhara, shares a root, no pun intended, a verbal root with our Mula Bandha, our root lock. So in addition to really feeling grounded to the earth, also keeping that Mula Bandha engaged throughout our practice, as well as Uddiyana Bandha, which is located at our core. And then sometimes, but not always, Jalandhara Bandha, our throat lock. So let's take a couple more of these. And we'll take one more of each. Coming to neutral spine when we're done, and then sitting back onto the heels for child's pose. So you can extend the arms out towards the front of the mat. You could stack hands or fists and rest the forehead on them. Or you could bring your hands back by the feet with the palms facing up. Keeping those knees together or separating them if you like. Try to make child's pose as comfortable as we can. This is our go-to resting pose for our practice. So if you need to take a break anytime, rest here, rejoin us when you're ready. So feel free to stay here in child's pose a little while longer if you need to. Ready? Bring your hands out to the front of the mat, shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide. We'll come forward and toes, lifting the hips up and back. Coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So if you like, you can pedal out your feet or make any other movements that you want to in this first downward dog. And you don't have to move this pose, by the way. You could be still if you prefer. But some people do like to make some movements. You can also shake your head out or take one leg and three-legged dog at a time. Pivot your heels from side to side. Whatever feels right to you and your body today. And then we'll settle into that downward dog for a couple breaths, tucking the chin and looking back between the legs. Really pressing into the mat. The hands out through each fingertip so that we're bringing the weight and distributing it out across the entire surface of the palm. So we're not just centering it on the base of the palm west. And then we'll look up at the hands and just walk the feet up towards the hands, making our way into forward fold. Feet are a little bit apart. We'll send the knee, grab opposite elbows. And just let everybody hang. So releasing out any tension or stress you're holding onto in the neck. Maybe shaking that head up from side to side. Taking it front to back. Swing the whole torso from side to side. And we'll come back to center, releasing elbows and placing hands on the shins or thighs. Extend the spine forward. Take a couple deep breaths here. On your exhale, fold, soften bending the knees in, reverse one dive all the way. Exhaling the hands to the heart. Taking a few deep breaths here. And we'll take a nice big step out to the side. So turning our feet out about 45 degrees, we'll do some moonflowers and sunflowers to get a little bit more warmed up. Inhaling, reaching to the corners of the room. Exhaling, bending the knees, bringing the elbows into the sides, and inhale, reach it up and out. Exhaling as we bend. Couple more here. Inhaling and exhaling. One more moonflower. And exhale, transition to your sunflowers. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, bend the knees, circle the arms down and around as we fold, and inhale brings us back up. Exhaling as we fold. Couple more here. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Exhale down. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart, bend the knees and the hips into a prayer squat. So shoulders are stacked to the hips. Knees are pointing in the same direction as the toes. Breathing here, feeling some heat build in those thighs, feeling your feet connected solidly to your mat. We'll release the hands to the thighs and lean slightly forward, pressing the right hand into the right thigh, looking over the left shoulder for a twist. And we'll release and switch sides. And release, coming back to center. Let's inhale it up, straightening the legs. Stepping the feet together at the top of the mat. Bringing the hands to the heart. Releasing the arms down by the side, standing nice and tall into Tadasana, mountain pose. So we're going to do a very pared down sun salutation for our root chakra practice today. So let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhaling as we slide down, forward fold. Bring the hands to the mat. We'll step the right foot to the back. You can stay on toes or lower the knee. And then we'll step the left foot to downward dog. And then drop the knees and come into child's pose. Few breaths here. And then let's make our way back to downward dog. From here, we'll step the right foot up by the hands, helping it get there if it gets stuck. Stay on the toes or drop the knee. Inhale, lift the heart, sink the hips. Exhale, step the left foot to the front, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale the hands into the heart. And inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. With soft knees, bring the hands to the mat. This time the left foot steps back. Stay on toes or lower the knee. Inhale, lift the heart, sink the hips. Exhale, step the right foot back. Downward dog. And then drop the knees and come into child's pose. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Making our way back to downward dog. Stepping the left foot up by the hand. Staying on toes or lowering the knee. Inhale, lift heart, sink the hips. Exhale, step the right foot up to the front. Inhale, reverse one back, come up. Exhale, the hands to the heart. We'll do that one more time on each side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Bring the hands to the mat. Stepping the right foot back. Stay on toes or lower the knee. Inhale, lift the heart, sink the hips. Exhale, press back. Downward dog. And then drop the knees. And come into child's pose and rest here for a couple of breaths. Making our way back into downward dog. Stepping the right foot up by the hands. Staying up on the toes or dropping the left knee. Lifting the heart and sinking the hips. Stepping the left foot up to the front. Reverse swan dive, come on. And bring the hands into the heart. Once more on the left. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold it forward. Stepping the left foot back. Stay on your toes or drop the knees. Sink the hips. Lift the heart. Exhale, step back. Downward dog. And drop the knees. Resting in child's pose. Making our way back into downward dog. Stepping the left foot up by the hands. Stay on the toes or drop your right knee. Lift the heart, sink the hips. And step the right foot up to the front. Reverse swan dive, come up. And then let's sink the hips back and down. Come into chair, Utkatasana. Have a seat. Weight is in the heels. Spine is neutral. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. You can also rest your hands on your thighs or at the heart. Breathing here. And release, let's inhale it up. Exhale the hands to the heart. And release the arms down by the sides. Taking a few deep breaths here. Let's inhale, reach up. Exhaling, as we swan dive down, forward fold. Stepping the right foot back. Turning that foot out 45 degrees. Dropping the heel, keeping your left knee bent, walking your that left leg. For Virabhadrasana, Echo Warrior 1. So if you'd like to, you can adjust your hips in pose. Using your right hand, gently guide your right hip forward. Tailbone releases down. And then whatever arms you like for your Warrior 1, go ahead and bring your arms into any arm position you like. So you could bend your elbows and take cactus arms. You could bring your palms together to touch overhead. You can take the arms out to a V. You can bring your hands onto your hips again or to heart center. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Feeling the feet rooting you solidly to the earth. Pressing through the outside edge of that right foot to help guide that right hip a little bit more forward. And then we'll open to the side for Warrior 2. So spinning that back foot out a little bit more, up to 90 degrees, making sure the left knee stays pointed straight over the left toes. Arms reach out parallel to the floor, or you can rest your hands at the heart. Shoulders relax down away from the ears. And then let's straighten out the left leg, bringing hands to the hips. And then we'll turn this left foot in so it's parallel to the right. And you could be slightly pigeon-toed if that feels better on your ankles today. Let's inhale and lengthen the spine, looking up. Exhaling as we fold, reaching the hands down to the mat or block if you need a little bit more height there. You can separate your feet a little bit wider. You could also bend your knees if you like. So let's walk the hands out a little bit away from us so that we can start to bring the weight into the front of the feet and the heels start to feel a little lighter. Lengthen the spine here. And then on your next exhale, deepen the fold. Maybe walk your hands back through your legs. Bringing the top of the head down towards the earth. Maybe resting it on your mat or block. Breathing here. And we'll release. Walk the hands back out, lift the head, and then we're going to walk the hands to the front of the mat, turning the feet so they face the front, and then dropping the right knee down. So if you need to pad that right knee with a blanket or by folding up your mat, go ahead and make your knee comfortable. Making sure that our left knee is stacked over the left ankle in the front and the right knee is behind the right hip in the back. And then feel free to leave your hands down on the mat. If you're feeling a lot of sensation, you want to stay here, stay here. If you want a little bit more, you can walk your hands up on top of your left thigh, bringing your chest up so you're really feeling a lot of sensation in that right hip flexor. Sinking the hips down towards the earth, letting gravity pull you in towards the center of the earth. Let's release the hands back to the mat. We're going to heel toe this left foot across our mat over to the right side of the mat. And then we'll bring the left knee down on the left side of the mat. So we're making our way into pigeon kapotasana. So that lower leg will kind of want to tuck underneath you. Go ahead and allow that to happen. If this is really aggravating your left knee, please come onto your back. Take a figure four stretch, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, and then pull on the right leg. If you're staying in pigeon, keeping the hips level, so avoiding the temptation of rolling down onto that left hip, maybe propping underneath the left hip. And then when you're ready, you may fold, resting your head on your hands, a block, or taking the forehead all the way down to the mat. And we'll release, coming up. Planting the hands at the front of the mat, tucking the right toes under, lifting those hips up and back. Coming into downward dog. If you're really jonesing to do a vinyasa, you can step back to plank and do a vinyasa at this time. If you're sad, we did not do them in our sun salutation today. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And then from here, we'll step that right foot up by the hands. Turning the left foot out 45 degrees, dropping the heel, keeping that right knee bent. Walking our way up that right leg for Virabhadrasana Eka on the other side. So again, maybe taking that hip adjustment where we guide that left hip a little bit more forward. Whatever arm expression you like. Relaxing the shoulders. Breathing. Breathe down into the feet, feeling safe and secure and grounded, rooted to the earth. Opening to the side for warrior two, spinning that back foot out a little bit more. Making sure that the right knee is still pointing straight over the right toes. Arms reach out, or we can rest the hands at the heart. Shoulders drop down away from the ears. Straightening out the right leg, releasing the hands to the hips, turning the right foot in so it's parallel to the left, or you could be slightly pigeon-toed if you want. Let's inhale and extend the spine, looking up. Exhale as we fold, releasing the hands down. And then once we're down, move my blanket out of the way. Walk your hands out a little bit so your weight starts to come a little bit more into the fronts of your feet. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, deepen the fold. Maybe walk your hands back through the legs. Bring the head down towards the earth. And we'll release, walking the hands out, lifting the head, and then we'll walk the hands to the front of the mat, turning the feet, dropping that left knee down, patting it as needed, making sure that right knee is stacked over the right ankle, the left knee is behind the left hip, leaving the hands on the mat or walking them up and clasping them together on top of the right thigh, letting those hips sink down towards the earth a little bit more. And we'll release the hands back to the mat. Heel toe your foot over to the left side. Bring your knee down on the right side of the mat. Come into Kapotasana pigeon. Let that lower leg tuck underneath you. Again, if this is really bothering your knee, please take that figure four, stretch on your back, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh, reaching your right arm between your legs and pulling on the left leg. If you're staying in pigeon, making sure that the hips stay level, maybe cropping underneath the right hip and folding when you're ready. And we'll release, coming up. Planting the hands at the front of the mat, tucking the left toes under, lifting those hips up and back. Again, optional vinyasa if you want. Otherwise, we'll all meet up in downward dog. And then from there, we'll just walk the feet up to the hands. Coming into forward fold. Placing hands on shins or thighs, extend the spine, move forward. On your next exhale, fold, softening the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Exhaling the hands to the heart. All right, so we are going to do Vrikshasana or tree for our root chakra practice, which, makes sense because trees have roots. So using that root imagery that I gave you at the beginning of the practice, but now imagining those roots coming out through the bottom of your foot, your balancing foot. So let's start with our feet, our foundation. So bringing our feet hips width apart and parallel, toes and relax. And If you want to move off of your mat or move closer to a wall for that extra little layer of stability, be my guest. So finding where we have the weight balanced evenly on the tripod of the foot. So if you recall, the tripod of the foot is the ball mound below your big toe, the ball mound below your baby toe, and the center of your heel. So think about those 3 points like a three-legged stool, and you want the weight evenly distributed between those three. Toes are spread and relaxed. We're finding our drishti, our focal point, so gazing at a spot on the floor or the wall, something that does not move. Bringing hands into the heart. And then we'll shift the weight onto our right leg and bring the left heel up to the side of the right ankle, keeping the right knee a little bit soft here. And we can stay here with our left toes still touching the mat, or if we like, we can start to move that foot up to the side of the shin, or you can pick that foot up and place it in your inner thigh, keeping the hips stable, so not allowing the hips to be pushed off to one side or the other. Hands can remain at your heart, or if you want, grow some branches by reaching the arms up. Woo! Maybe taking them out to the side. Even yoga teachers have bad balance days. Relaxing the shoulders if you're raising the arms up. Breathing here. And we'll release the hands to the heart and release the left foot down. Roll out your right ankle. Reset your feet. Re-engage through the bottoms of the feet. Engaging your Pada Bandha, your foot seal, Mula Bandha, pelvic floor is lifted. Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the abdominals in. Jalandhara Bandha, drawing the chin in towards the throat. Hands come to the heart, finding our drishti again. Shifting the weight onto the left foot, bring that right heel up to the side of your left ankle, keeping the left knee soft. And staying there, or moving that foot up to the side of the shin, or picking that foot up, placing it in the inner thigh, keeping the hips stable. Maybe growing some branches here, reaching arms up, maybe taking them out, relaxing the shoulders. Releasing the hands back to the heart if we raise the arms, and then releasing the right leg down. Roll out your left ankle. And if you stepped off of your mat, come back to the top of the mat. Let's inhale, reach it up. Exhaling as we swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees, bringing the hands to the mat. We'll step the feet to the back one at a time, coming into downward facing dog. And then from here, we're going to step our feet wider. So turning those feet out a little bit. So maybe your heels are still on your mat, but your toes are coming just off of the mat. And then we'll walk our hands back towards the feet, bending the knees so that we wind up at the end of the mat in garland pose, malasana. So it is a low squat. For a lot of people, this is an extremely challenging pose. Some of us have a hard time getting our heels down. Some of us have an issue bending the knees this much. If you happen to have a block, you can elevate your hips on a block. You can sit on your block and that'll bring you up a little bit, make this a little easier. You could also roll up the end of your mat or bring a towel or blanket under your heels so they're grounded. Bringing the hands into the heart, extending the spine, so we're not kind of all rounded and hunched over, but extend the spine, opening the heart, opening the chest. And then we'll release. We'll bring the hands behind us and just have a seat. Obviously, if you're sitting on a block, take that out first. Extending the legs out long, coming into staff pose, Dandasana. You can move some of the flesh out from underneath your sit bones, or if you want to elevate your hips on a blanket, you could do that as well. Flexing the feet, we'll inhale and lengthen the spine up, reaching the arms up to the sky, exhaling as we fold, hinging from the hips. Reaching for those feet, you could use a strap to extend your reach, or simply grab anywhere along the legs that you can reach, shins, thighs, whatever you can grab. Let's inhale and lengthen the spine a little bit more. Exhaling, deepening the fold, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. Using your sinking breath here. So the spine is lengthening on the inhales, and then we're deepening the fold on the exhales. And we'll release. If you're using a strap today, you can leave it wrapped around the bottom of your left foot and just take your right foot out of it. We're going to bend the right knee and let that knee open out to the right side for Janu Shirshasana. And I like to prop underneath my right knee. It just helps support my SI joint a little bit better. Placing one hand on either side of the left leg, turning the chest to face the leg. Inhale as we lengthen. Exhale as we fold. Reaching again for the foot, a strap, or anywhere along the leg. You can take a cross grip with your hands if you like, reaching for the outside of your leg with your right hand and the instep side with your left. And that just helps us center the chest over the left leg a little bit better. Again, using that sinking breath. And then releasing and coming up, bringing the right knee up, stepping that foot up and over to the outside of your left thigh. You can leave your left leg straight, or if you like, bend underneath you and sit back down, hugging the knee with the left arm. The right arm comes behind us and we twist. So you can stay here hugging your knee. You could bring your elbow past your knee, or if you want, you can bind this pose, reaching your left arm between your legs, coming behind the back with the right, and grabbing a hold of a strap or your shirt or your fingers. And we'll release that twist. Extending the right leg out long, bending the left knee and letting that knee open out to the left side. So you can use whatever props you like for this. Placing one hand on either side of the right leg, turning the chest to face the leg. Inhaling as we lengthen, exhaling as we fold. And again, reaching for a foot, strap, anywhere along the leg, maybe taking that cross grip again with the hands. And we'll release, coming up. Bringing that left knee up, stepping that foot up and over to the outside of the right thigh. Right leg can stay straight, or you can bend it underneath you and sit back down, hugging the knee with the right arm, taking the left arm behind us for another twist. Again, stay here, hugging your knee, or bring your elbow past your knee, or reach through the legs. Come behind the back and bind. And release. Let's take our legs out wide for a straddle hold. So this is another pose where if you like, you can elevate your hips on a blanket or even a towel. We'll do a folded up towel. You don't have to if you don't want to. Flexing the feet, pointing the knees and the toes up toward the ceiling. Let's bring the arms out to the front. Inhaling as we lengthen the spine up, and then exhaling as we begin our fold. So again, using that sinking breath, pausing to lengthen the spine on the inhales, and then letting the exhales allow you to sink a little bit more into this fold here. You can leave your hands out in front of you, or you can hold on to your feet, and that's going to maybe allow you to go a little bit further into this fold. And also what I like to do is actually hold my feet so they don't roll in. And we'll release. We'll bring our legs together and then roll down onto the back, holding on behind the knees, and then hugging the knees into the chest, taking some rocks from side to side, circling those knees around, first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. And coming to center, hugging the right knee in, releasing the left leg, giving that right knee a nice squeeze. Extending the right leg up toward the ceiling, pointing and flexing the foot a few times. And then circling that foot first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling the right leg in towards you for a hamstring stretch. Your left leg may be bent, or you can straighten that leg out along the floor. Extending the right leg out towards the right side, keeping your left side anchored to the mat. And then taking that right leg up and across the body over to the left, extending that right arm out to a T. Keeping your right shoulder on the mat, maybe also looking down that right arm. And then releasing and bringing that right leg back up, bending both knees, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, making a figure four with your legs. Reaching your right arm between the legs and then clasping hands together, either on the back of the left thigh or on the front of the left shin, lining that left knee up over the left shoulder. Releasing the right foot to the floor, hugging the left knee in, giving that knee a nice squeeze. Reaching the left leg up toward the ceiling, pointing and flexing the foot a few times. And then circling that foot around first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling the left leg in towards you for a hamstring stretch. The right leg may be bent or straight. Extending that left leg out towards the left side, keeping your right side anchored to the mat. And then taking the left leg up and across the body over to the right, extending that left arm out to a T, keeping your left shoulder on the mat, maybe also looking down that left arm. And we'll release, bringing that left leg back up. Bending both knees, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, making that figure four, reaching your left arm through, pulling on the right leg, either from behind the thigh or the front of the shin, lining that right knee up with your right shoulder. And we'll release, hugging both knees into the chest. Taking arms out to a T, palms can be up or down, either dropping both knees to your right, or if you like, cross your left leg over your right thigh first, and then take the knees to the right. Keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe looking down your left arm. And we'll release. Bring those knees up. If you cross the legs one way, cross them the other way, and we'll all take the knees to the left. Maybe looking down that right arm this time. And releasing. Bringing those knees back up, hugging the knees into the chest, bringing the forehead up to meet the knees, squeezing everything in nice and tight. And then releasing it all down. So preparing for Shavasana. If you want to put any layers on at this time, if you have some socks or a sweatshirt or a blanket you want to cover up with, go ahead and do what you need to do to be comfortable. If you need to make your space darker, if you want to grab an eye pillow. So just get yourself ready. We're going to do a little bit longer Shavasana today. And this is a specific guided meditation for the root chakra. So just closing the eyes. Take a long, deep breath. As you exhale, move your attention to the base of your spine and imagine a ruby red chakra glowing iridescently. The warm red glow of the chakra calms you and you feel serene and safe. You feel grounded and unshakable, like a huge boulder cradled by the earth. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, rising high into the sky. In front of you is a large opening to a cave. The red flowers growing at the mouth of the cave sway in the gentle breeze and reflect the warm sunlight falling on them. The rays of the sun invite you to enter the cave. Step inside. You notice the cave has smooth walls and a high ceiling with a warm, gentle breeze making you feel cozy and comfortable. Walk further and notice your surroundings. You see the path opening into a large circular room with a big rectangular stone lying in the middle. A gentle beam of light slipping in through a small crack in the ceiling bathes the stone with a warm glow. You walk over to the stone and sit on it. You begin to feel part of the mountain. You feel deeply anchored and rooted to the earth. You feel safe. You see the earth supporting and nourishing your entire being. Now see your first chakra spinning and gaining strength. As it spins faster, a ruby red light washes over you and pervades every cell, every part of your body. Breathe deeply and feel the energy funneling down to the base of your spine. Rest in this awareness. And we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes, circling ankles and wrists. And reaching the arms up overhead, just stretch and release. And either rolling to one side or hugging the knees into the chest, taking a few deep breaths before you make your way up to seated. And when you're ready, making your way into any comfortable seat you choose to finish your practice today. Sitting up nice and tall and dropping the chin down into the chest. Taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. Bringing the head up, taking the hands behind the head and looking all the way up. And release, taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling arms up. And exhaling them down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. One more time, inhaling it up. Bringing the hands together at heart center as we exhale. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.